Hi everybody, and welcome back to the second of the Boulder blog videos. This will be the first time I think that many people have seen the wall with its lovely new paint job. You can see the nice great big Mount Hawk logo there that we've drawn up on the wall. It has a nice orange paint job all the way around. I was a little bit worried that the orange might come out a bit dark in such a small space, but actually, considering we've got so much lighting in there and the walls are all that sort of same orange all the way around, it bounces off it really nicely. At the time that I'm recording this, it is about the 20th or 21st of March, so we're still in the midst of the coronavirus issue and we are still not open. Bit of a bummer, but I filmed this. I say the voiceover that I'm doing now is happening on the 21st of March. I filmed this all actually on about the 1st of March. So there's been, since the last video, a complete reset. Obviously we had to take all the holes and everything off the wall prior to painting it. So this is a whole new set of routes. The one that I'm on now is just one that is just another nice long white one that's sort of fairly decent, big and juggy, and goes all the way around. So yeah, these are the new routes. So something that's changed a lot since the last time I did one of these videos was obviously, I know I said I've painted it, but along with that, the paint has had sand mixed into it, so like most climbing walls, it has now got a fairly nice grippy surface on it. It's the first time I've ever had to mix paint up together with sand to try and get a finish, and without blowing my own trumpet too much, considering I am, you know, a sort of very keen but talented amateur really in terms of building stuff like this. I was really impressed with the finish that we got out of it. I think it is going to wear off probably quicker than a more professional finish might have done, so we may have to repaint it again probably after a year, maybe put a bit more sand in the mix, maybe use a slightly more grippy paint, but for now I'm really happy with it. So the routes that you will have just seen me climbing on were some of the more beginners kind of routes, the nice easy sort of very ladder shaped ones. Now this route that I'm on is a bit of a funny one because it was actually designed with children in mind. We used one of my friends, Dan, who's very tall. He's like 6'4", but his daughter Dea is about 5 years old and about 3 feet tall. So you can see that's why I looked so like crouched in and pushed down there. Actually made things quite difficult to get along that route for a grown-up like me, but we should hopefully have a few more routes like that in the future, so there'll be something for more of the vertically challenged of us to have a go on. So moving on, I'm really happy with how a lot of the new routes have turned out, and as I said, you know, I keep banging on about the paint job, but you know, a lick of paint all around the place has really made such a huge change to it. As I said in the last video, I really did enjoy the kind of old school, bit of a speakeasy kind of climbing wall vibe that we had before with just the bare wood and stuff. But yeah, I'm really happy with how the paint job's come out now, and it's meant that we can, again with that grip that is now on all the surface, we can yeah, just try a few different kinds of things. I'm really happy with how this slab has sort of turned out as well. We've managed to get some really nice routes on there. There's only about 4 or 5 routes that are on there, but as I'll show you later on, we've got a nice little trick to make some of those routes go a little bit further. So yeah, watch this space. Another difference that you might notice here from the last of these videos is that we've now covered over all the beams on the roof. There was a little bit of worry that we might leave those beams exposed, and some people would try to sort of grab onto them. We've also hopefully filled in all the holes and gaps so that there's nothing else that people can really snag themselves on, and just done our very best to make it all nice and airtight really. Now, one of the other really cool things about this video is that actually not all of the routes in here were set just by me. Like I said, we had Dea and her dad Dan come in the other day to help us set some, we just set one of those nice little routes that you saw me on earlier. But this one I'm actually climbing on now was set by my very good friend Mr. Mark Britton, who came in with Charlie Bohr. So there's a couple of their routes that are still up on the wall now, and considering neither of them had ever set routes before, and I'm not exactly an expert either, they did a really good job, and I really actually enjoy some of these routes. So yeah, I think we're probably not going to have a lot of guest route setters in because it's such a small space. We don't need that many routes to be set. This is another one of Mark's actually, and I really enjoy it, this nice big stretch over to there, and then having to get the fingers into this big pocket. I usually hate pockets, but I really like that one. But yeah, as I said, we've had loads of people offering to come and set routes for us, and I think most of them have been very genuine. A lot of them have been like, hey, can we come and set some routes? And then the unsaid thing is like, get some free climbing out of it, which we're not really going to be in a position to offer. But I think after enjoying seeing Mark and Charlie set some routes, I think I'm definitely going to say to one or two people, if they want to come in and set something, then yeah, that's fine as well. But you know, we don't need route setters is what I'm saying, but it will be fun definitely to have the occasional other person come in and have a play and set something new. So that route that I was just on there was one of the earlier ones that I forgot about, one of the nice big juggy greens, and now I'm moving on to oh, this is one of the black ones that I set, still one of the blue tag routes, so relatively easy, but again really fun to set some things which are not particularly strength wise challenging, but a lot of fun to climb on either way. And so now I think I'm eyeing up one of Charlie Bohr's routes. Charlie is a really amazing climber. He's a maniac, if I'm truly honest, but I really enjoyed setting some routes with him, and he seemed to like set almost every route that he did it with a sit start in mind, because he just thought, there's not much space, so I've got to make it as low as possible, which meant that some of the footholds were like almost touching the carpet, which made it quite tricky, but also a lot of fun. Now this is one of my really favourite routes that I've set, because I've got about 10 of these red holds, and I think I used like 8 of them further down the gym, so I just had 2 left, and I was like, right, how can we make a route with just 2 handholds? And actually using this arete on the side of the slab to be able to try and get up there, it looks, I don't know if I made that look particularly easy, but it's really not. Once you've got the hang of it, then it is. So you'll have just seen me there pointing the camera at a couple of those pink holds which had not just one set of tags on but 2, and as I said earlier, this is the little trick that we've talked about to sort of make some of these routes a bit harder. So there's a yellow tag on this pink route which says that you can climb it using any of the features that you want, and then the red tag basically means it's exactly the same holds, but you're not allowed to use any of the features like the arete on either side. The only reason I'm using that volume there is because there is a pink hole on it, but that's basically what we've done to try and utilize the really cool shapes of this slab section we've got. And there it is again on the blue. Again, there's a yellow hole and a red one, a yellow tag and a red one even. So the yellow tag just basically means you can use any features or anything in order to get up it, and the red tag is basically without features. So earlier I did the yellow tagged versions of them, and now I'm doing the red one, so it's yeah, a little bit more tricky. So as you might have been able to see there, the grip on the wall, it's not perfect, it's still a vertical wall, and yeah, your shoes aren't going to grip on indefinitely, but it's better than just bare plain wood with no grip on it at all. So now moving back down to the main overhang section here, and this is another nice big juggy wall hold set that's probably about 4 or 5 to climb up, but just a nice one to warm up on. I'm really happy with the way that nice big black stripe has gone across there. Kind of makes me think of that Queens of the Stone Age video for, was it Go With The Flow? I think it might be. But yeah, I really like it. It's quite hard filming in here for you to get an idea of how orange the walls actually are, because at certain points they do look quite pale when actually you go in there and it's quite bright and stuff. But I'm still just filming using my mobile phone, so it's doing the best that it can, really. So this route here is a real funny one. I do like weird shaped things where you have to get into corners. I think it reminds me a lot of when I was a kid going climbing with my dad. We'd always end up in some kind of chimney thing, because I started climbing on Dartmoor when I was a kid, and places like Haytor and Blackingstone Rock always had loads of big chimneys going up it where you'd sort of be bridging from one foot to another, and so yeah, things like that I seem to really enjoy. This one here is another one of Mark Britton's routes, I think, and again, really nice route actually. I'm not saying that like I'm surprised. Mark's a really great climber, but again, him and Charlie, when they came in, were both like, yeah, we've never climbed on anything before. Well, they've never set routes before. So yeah, considering they were just like, mucking around, bolting things onto the wall at random angles, they actually did a really good job, and put some really fun routes on there. They are, if they're watching this, I'm sure they're going to notice that I've taken some of their routes down. The only reason for that is because in order to fit all of the routes in here that we wanted, like some of the routes that they put up used colours which we've got loads of, and it was very difficult to then make a route which went anywhere nearby that, so I had to shuffle things around a little bit. But it's not because you guys set bad routes or anything, so yeah, please don't think that if you're watching it. So the last couple of routes that I've been on have all had red tags on them, and this one's a red tag as well, but it's still a bit of a harder one. It requires, especially that move there, a lot of really powerful finger strength in order to pull yourself from a sort of horizontal position over to there, and then it's sort of a bit of a nice techie bit on the vertical wall here. I really like these grey holds that we've got. I'm not sure where they came from. I'm not sure whether we picked them up from someone that donated them, or if we got them from one of the walls that we bought the other holds from. But yeah, they are really nice. I'm not even sure what brand they are. They've got like a sort of Star Trek looking 2 red triangles on them. If anyone can tell me what brand that is, let me know in the comments below, because I'd really like to know. Okay, moving back on to one of Charlie Bohr's routes, and this one was it's a really fun route once you got the sequence right, and it's also good for me because I can actually, you can't quite see what I'm doing here, but I can reach my feet all the way across that gap so that I can make use of the holds there. And there was some really interesting moments trying to figure out where he'd put a hold, looking around that corner there, which is again, really classic style of climbing, which I'm very used to, when you're sort of like desperately looking around to try and see where your hold was. Again, filming in quite a tight space like this, I had to do this route twice, because as you can see, you couldn't see where I'd gone on the last bit there. The reason for that being because it's a really small space and my phone doesn't have a very wide lens, and I'd actually left my fisheye lens at home. Yeah. Now I don't think I'm doing that route the right way that Charlie intended it. You might be able to see that to my right there's another yellow hold that I think I was supposed to use. Yeah, I think that's one of the examples of where I've just brawled my way through to victory rather than actually using finesse. But yeah, for a blunt object like me, I still take that as a victory. Now, this one I think that I'm on is it's the last of Charlie's routes, which, I'll be honest, was an absolute pig. Not that it's a bad route, it just, I had to put a lot of effort in to get this. And again, not because the sequence was particularly hard, but just because it's Charlie's style of climbing and he's got the most ridiculous pinch strength. And actually this was the hardest move here. Getting both my hands up to this last hold was really, really tricky because you're stood on so little, and that hold at the top, there's so little to grab onto there. It was, yeah, a real tough one. Okay, so I really love Charlie and Mark and their setting, but I think this might be my favourite route in the gym at the moment, and it is one that I set, and actually I only set it about 10 minutes before I started this video. I set a few more routes and this was one of them, and I was like, right, I'm going to figure out how to do this. And this was another one where I sort of set the route in a bit of a way like I'll figure it out as I go, but that hold that my left hand on is such an amazing hold, because it's got like 2 or 3 different ways of doing a big open wide pinch, and yeah, as you can see there, I completely went the wrong way about trying to get up it. And as usual with climbing, when you can't make it up something, the standard rules apply. Take a rest, have a think about it, get your brush out and try and get some of the moisture and chalk off of that hold. Try and give yourself as many possibilities as you can to get up it. Try and give yourself as much help as you can. And as I'm doing here, putting on my really sharp La Sportivas. So these shoes, I can only wear them for about 10 minutes at a time because they are so downturned and there's so much pressure going through my feet, but they just make gripping on those really small slopey footholds amazing. They feel so nice when you get the grip on them right, but my god, I wouldn't want to walk a mile in them. I wouldn't want to walk 50 feet in them. Now I think when I got to this point here, I did actually figure this sequence out. Now you can't quite see what's coming up next, but I did move the camera in a minute just to get the last bit of this route, but there is a terrible, and I mean terrible, crimp that I've put further up there to hang on to, and that time I managed to get it. Obviously, yeah, a little victory pose because I am a poser, but as you can see here, so right on the top of that Mount Hawk logo, that's that purple one that I'm aiming for. I've got to pull with the left hand, lift with the right, using a bit of the edge of that volume to get up with it, and you'll see in just a moment when I go for the next one, my finger popped right off. Bang, there it goes. And I was really scared I'd actually popped a ligament there because it just came off so sharply and I ended up punching the wall. But yeah, it worked out all right. A little bit of a close-up now of how I made that move there. There's a little switch I'm going to do. My body's going to be in the way here, unfortunately, but there you go. I'll switch my hand around. And yeah, it's a really nice one to put on there and then get the foot up. Again, just another angle on that. Really enjoyable and exciting thing to figure out. Again, I think people might be getting by now, I think of climbing as more of a cerebral challenge rather than just, you know, using all available strength to get up something. And yeah, that was quite exciting to be able to do. Okay, now moving on to this yellow route. Now, as I said last time, the yellow route was the hardest one that we had. I mean, it's a black tag, but it's using these little yellow crimps. And the reason, you can see this is a tiny crimp. That's actually half a hold that got snapped in half, and I've screwed it on there, and that's a hand hold. And the reason that I've always said in these videos that this is me trying every route in the gym and not me doing every route in the gym is because I didn't actually manage to do this route. I really tried. I really put a whole lot of effort in. I squeezed my feet into really uncomfortable climbing shoes. I just couldn't do it. Now, I'll be honest, I do know that this route is doable because Dan Barrios O'Neill, when he came over, he tried it about 3 or 4 times, and I think on the 4th time he got it. I will use the excuse and say that Dan is much taller than me. He is 6'4", which means he's about 5 inches taller than me, but in reality he's just a much stronger climber than me. But I think I will leave this route up a bit. I will also, in sort of full transparency mode, explain that the very eagle eyes among you in a moment will notice that another little hold has appeared on the wall, which is how I managed to make this move here. Yeah, that foothold that my left foot's on, I just bolted that onto the wall after a few tries and being frustrated. I thought, no, I've got to make this easier for myself, which I understand is a terrible kind of attitude to have. But yeah, I think I'd bitten off a bit more than I could chew in trying to get that one. I would be interested to see how someone like Mikey Cleverdon or Ollie Jarrett would get through something like that. Someone who's shorter than me, but definitely a lot stronger. It would be interesting to see. And yeah, again, I definitely think I bit off a bit more than I could chew with those last few moves as well, which were just yeah, they were nightmares. But either way, that was the last try I was going to have on that one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, just a little showcase of what we've got at the cave. I think we're going to keep these routes up and add a few more to them, hopefully before we open, which will be, fingers crossed, in not a long time. I hope the coronavirus is not affecting any of you too badly, and I really look forward to seeing you all soon. If you want to help us out, please go and hit that subscribe button, give us a like and share this video. If there's anything else you'd like to see, please do let us know. Otherwise, stay safe guys, look after yourselves, be kind to one another, and we will see you next time on the Boulder Blog.